there, this is Namya Sanha, and today we have a very special guest with us, Ira Trivedi. Ira is a celebrated yoga acharya and an author. She's also a devoted Krishna follower. Hi Ira, welcome to Times Now and Zoom. It's such a pleasure to have you with us.
Namaste, or I would say Hare Krishna. How are you?
We're doing great. So just tell us about your spiritual connection with Bhagwan Krishna and then we can keep moving forward as we get ready to celebrate Janmashtami.
I would say that, there's different kinds of yoga. There is Hatha Yoga, which is a physical practice of yoga. There is Raj Yoga, which is a meditative practice. There is Karma Yoga, which is selfless service. And then there is Bhakti Yoga, which is the yoga of devotion. And the Bhagavad Gita, it says in Kali Yuga, which is the age that we reside in, this is the era. During this time, the most sure-shot way of reaching Krishna, reaching Samadhi, call it what you may, is through the practice of Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga has been a very, very prominent part of my spiritual journey. In fact, it's the beginning of my spiritual journey. And I feel that at every single point there has been guidance, really divine guidance to go and stay on this path. I actually never intended to be a yoga teacher, let alone a yoga teacher who was teaching thousands of students around the globe, hundreds of thousands. But it was really following that divine guidance and listening to that divine guidance that brought me here. So I am very, very grateful to this practice. I'm grateful to the blessings of Lord Krishna. I'm grateful to this universal energy for allowing me to be on the path and always guiding me forward on this path.
You were planning to do Bhakti Yoga on Janmashtami. So for our viewers, what are the benefits of Bhakti Yoga?
Bhakti Yoga is, it lifts the heart. In today's day and age, there is really, there's so much stress, there's so much concern of financial issues, relationships. For so many people, there's so much struggle in their lives, right? Or it's perceived struggle. With the practice of Bhakti Yoga, we begin to really open our hearts and we're able to tap into that joy which is really inherent in every single human being. So as we move in this, in this Ferris wheel of life, I feel that oftentimes there is lack of joy, and that's when people start turning to practice like alcohol, too much food, things like that, drugs. These are all paths towards trying to attain joy, but the easiest way, the most sure-shot way is through a practice of Bhakti Yoga. And that's through chanting the name of the Lord. It's through singing. It's through just love. It's through prayer. It doesn't have to have any form in particular, but often when you sing, when you dance, these are all expressions of joy. So for Janmashtami, for example, we are having a beautiful celebration. It's with our community called Yoga Love, Lovers of Yoga. And we really sing and we dance. We just chant the name of Krishna. We listen to stories of Krishna. And we just try and tap into that joy, that childlike joy, which is really within all of us. It's accessible to everyone. It's accessible to everyone. Oftentimes, we don't sing, we don't dance. There's such inherent forms of human joy. And if we look back into every single culture, there's some form of dance, some form of community singing and community dancing. And, we feel like oftentimes in this day and age that dance has to be accompanied. You have to go to a party to dance, you have to go to a nightclub to dance, or you have to, drink when you're doing dancing. People say, no, I can't dance, I have to drink to dance. But with our practice on Janmashtami, everyone is singing, everyone is dancing. Even if they haven't sung before, even if they haven't danced before, it's a inner intoxication of joy, and that's what it is. It's just pure, sheer joy with no strings attached. With no strings attached, and that's what it is. And it really helps you tap into a deep inner space, and it opens up that heart. And that heart is really the essence of human life.
So what is that one teaching of Bhagwan Krishna that you always follow in your life?
What I try to follow, I would say, it's the teaching that I try to follow, is to reduce expectation. is to serve without having expectations. Because whatever we do, whether it's in relationships or whether it's with work, whatever we do, we attach it with an expectation, we attach it with a result. And when we don't get that result, the desired result that we had in our minds, we get sad or upset or frustrated. So what I've been trying to practice in my life is to serve, but without expectation of getting something in return. Of teaching yoga like this, practicing yoga like this, without always striving for results. Because I feel like we've become, as a community, very result-oriented all the time. And when we don't get those results, we feel bad, and that's what leads to that sadness, frustration, whatever you call it. So one of the main teachings for me personally is to serve without being attached to the fruits of your action. Whatever your actions are, don't be attached to their results. In fact, just keep going and enjoy that work, enjoy the process, and work because you enjoy that process of work.
And ever since you became a follower of Bhagwan Krishna, what has been one profound experience that you've had? Did you have any spiritual experience?
So many. I was very young when I feel I've always had a connection, but I really began a practice of bhakti. I brought a Bal Krishna into my house and I started bathing him, started feeding him as an act of devotion. That this is by doing this, this is my form of prayer. I'm remembering the Lord through this practice. I'm remembering that there is divinity outside of us, there's divinity within us. That's what I was doing to this practice. And I began, in so many ways in my life, I started seeing miracles, I remember I was in the 10th grade, and I was not a very bright student. And I had begun keeping this idol of Krishna and every day praying to him. And I would every day, really say that, Bhagwan, today I want to study and I want to be able to study to feel better for myself. I stopped attaching that I want to get this many marks, I want to get that many marks. That I want to study because I want to prove myself to myself that I can do this. That's what I'd like to do. I want to prove to myself that I can study. So please keep me strong. Keep me strong in my studies. And I studied and I studied and I asked for strength. That's what I asked for. I didn't ask for results per se. I asked for strength through this time. So all of us have been through this. All of us have been through board exams. And we know what it's like. And then I remember the day of the results came and I saw my report card and I saw 199. I saw really good results. I said, those can't be my marks. I said, they are your marks. I said, what subject did I get 99 in? They said, you got 99 in science. I said, science? I was such a bad student of science. But then those results did not prove that. And after that, I actually became a student of science. I started loving science. And in fact, in college, I was training to be a doctor. But then life took its own path, and here I am teaching yoga, which actually now when I teach yoga, I always include medical aspects to it because I have training.
So I'm able to bring in my background of medicine and science into yoga, and that's really, really helped me. So this is just one miracle. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed during my 10th boards, and I prayed for strength. And what I did get was ultimately marks, which was completely unexpected in subjects that I completely did not expect it in. And that strength that it gave me served me through the rest of my life, not just for those board exams alone.
So, Ira, can anyone do Bhakti Yoga, or is it like some of the yoga asanas and all are very tough for not everyone?
Bhakti Yoga is a practice for everyone. You just have to open your heart. You have to chant the name of the Lord, something as simple as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such a simple mantra, which is so powerful because what you're saying in this mantra is that, Lord, I pray to you. I pray to come closer to you, and I pray to have you in my life. It's a simple mantra of gratitude. It's a simple mantra of opening our hearts, and anyone can chant. You can chant this mantra, you can chant any mantra that you like, or you can simply not chant at all and just say, I love you, Krishna, and shower your blessings in my life. And even that is good enough. But the thing is to have that anchor. When we have those anchors in our life, and when we make those anchors human beings, it doesn't serve us very well, because human beings will never fulfill our expectations, because we always end up having expectations. When we have divinity as our anchor, then divinity never fails us. So that's the beautiful part of this, that bring divinity into your life. And when you begin bringing divinity into your own life, then everything becomes a divine experience. Everything becomes a divine experience. So a lot of us, especially in Hindu households, we're blessed to have been brought up with this bhav. It's bhav. And that bhav is really important to inculcate in our lives. And through the practice of bhakti, and no one greater to personify the bhakti practice than Lord Krishna, because he's a lover himself, a lover of animals, a lover of humans, a lover of women, a lover of men, such a big lover. And when we inculcate that love in our lives, then it comes into every aspect of our lives. And more than anything, it opens up our hearts. Our hearts are just so heavy today with all of the things that the world or the life throws at us.
They always say Krishna is just not Bhagwan, but he is there in our consciousness. I mean, what does Krishna mean to you? If I would
Krishna
ask.
is consciousness. Krishna is consciousness. I often tell my students, what do you think Krishna is? Do you think Krishna is in heaven playing his flute with gopis? What is Krishna? Where is Krishna? See, Krishna is a universal energy. And that universal energy signifies love, it signifies devotion, and we can all connect to that universal energy. That universal energy is in me, it's in you. So Krishna is consciousness. It's for us to become more conscious of our own lives, to become conscious of our body, our breath, our hearts, our planet, human feelings, all of us. And when we begin to feel that connection, when we connect to Krishna, we connect to a universal energy that resides in each one of us. So we feel that our connection with everyone starts improving, with our family members, with ourselves, with our friends, with our work colleagues, everyone. And that brings so much of joy, peace, empathy into our lives.
If somebody is wanting to get into Bhakti Yoga, how do they go about it? If for someone who doesn't have any idea about it.
I would say that it's so simple, it's not like you have to follow any steps. I would just say that chanting is a great way to start. Just chanting the mantra, closing your eyes, chanting the mantra. I really like chanting along with a track. You can go and find a track that you really, music really uplifts the heart. So I think connecting to music, connecting to devotional chants of Krishna, that's a great way to start. If you like visiting temples, you can visit temples. Temples are actually sites of devotion. You go to temples not to ask for something, but you go to temples because it's a place where lovers meet. That's what a temple is. So I would say that practice begins in your own heart. You don't need to take steps. You don't need to buy anything. You need to connect to that joy in your own heart. You can read stories of Krishna. You can begin chanting the name of Krishna. You can begin dancing to the name of Krishna. You can do anything. There are no rules to the Bhakti Yoga practice.
And is there a certain lifestyle that you would recommend to people to make their life better? As a yoga acharya,
100%. As sattvic as our lifestyle is, the better that is. As sattvic, as less harmful to other people, right? So that means following a vegetarian diet. That's better for you, better for the planet. Doing a daily practice of movement, that'll help you always feel better. Doing some sort of movement, whether it's a walk or whether it's yoga or whether it's a sport. Our lives have become increasingly sedentary. So also a lot of toxicity in our environment, right? Lots of toxicity in the air, in every which way. So a practice of yoga keeps your body strong, keeps your hormones intact, removes toxicity from the body.
And anything else you would like to tell us, Ira, about Janmashtami, Krishna, yoga?
I would say that Janmashtami is a beautiful way to start your Bhakti Yoga practice. It's Krishna's birthday, and it has so much of innocence attached to this, because the best days of Krishna's life, the happiest days of Krishna's life, were when he was a child. if you look at Krishna's life, it was quite a life of struggle. You know, he was at a very young age, he was born in a jail. He, all of his brothers and sisters were killed before he was even born. And then, he was carried on a very, very rainy day through storms to his foster parents. And then, at such a young age, he had to go and fight a battle. And his life, if you look at it, is a tough life. But the happiest days of Krishna's life when he was a young boy, and that was in Gokul. And those are the days that are remembered with the most joy and the most love. And Janmashtami signifies those days of his life, the days of the birth of Krishna. And so I feel like it's such a beautiful day of innocence and joy and celebration. So just celebrate this day of love. Celebrate this day of love in whichever way that you like, whether it's by chanting or singing or dancing, whatever it is. But I just feel like when you pray on Janmashtami, it's Krishna's birthday, you always get return gifts.
Thank you so much, Ira. I think it was lovely having you with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Namya.